Hello everyone, I'm Dylan Paul here with Jake Krause and Will Christie, and welcome to ESPN at SBC. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming NFL season, specifically who is going to win the Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. So Jake, what do you think for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Well, I think that there's a lot of people you could choose for this, but in my opinion, I think Quentin Johnson on the Chargers is going to win because obviously Justin Herbert is already a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and the Chargers offense is so explosive, they score so many points, and Quentin Johnson, when he was at TCU, was a big play type of player. He was a very explosive player against Michigan in the playoff game. He had that one play with the crossing route and then ran 75 yards into the end zone. So I think he's going to do the same thing in the NFL. And with a supporting cast with Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield, as well as Keenan Allen, who's a veteran and can teach him a lot of things, and Mike Williams, who's a great deep threat receiver. There's just so many ways you can just pick apart the defense when you're playing against the Chargers on offense. And as the biggest receiver on the team, along with Mike Williams, there's just not too many teams that have the personnel to be able to guard everyone on that offense. And I think Quentin Johnson will be the one who ends up coming free, and he will score a lot of touchdowns in the red zone, I believe. So that is my pick for Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Mike Williams is that guy for obvious reasons. Anyways, my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year, if you look at explosive offenses like the Chargers, the Atlanta Falcons do not have one of those. They have a non-explosive offense. Their offense is like constipated. But I think Bijan Robinson, that addition to that offense is going to be really good. You know, last year in the last 2 years, I think they had Todd Gurley, who's like 1,000 years old and like he can't run the ball at all. And Matt Ryan's like 1,000 years old. And Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder are like average. I think Desmond Ridder is the future of the Atlanta Falcons, and I think Bijan Robinson, you saw at Texas, you know, you just give him. He's a workhorse. You give him a lot of touches. He's going to get you a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns, and I think he is the most explosive running back and the most explosive player in that draft. I think Bijan Robinson is your Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Bijan is definitely incredibly talented running back, and Johnson is definitely a very good after-the-catch receiver. We just worry about that deep ball tracking. We'll see if he can put it all together next year. Now, let's go to the defensive side. Jake, what do you think for Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I think it's a no-brainer. I think Devon Witherspoon is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He already has the best tandem with Tariq Woolen on defense, and I think that there's no question. He's easily the most physical corner we've seen come out of college since Jalen Ramsey of Florida State. He can hit, he can tackle in the open field, and he can cover better than most of the other corners taken in the draft. A lot of people said Christian Gonzalez was better than him, or even Joey Porter, but I think he was the clear-cut number one guy. Obviously, so did the Seahawks, and they took him with their first pick in the draft. And I think that with the team that the Seahawks have, they are set up to just lock down any receivers. They have Jamal Adams coming back, Quandre Diggs at free safety, and then the two corners with Tariq Woolen and Devon Witherspoon, as well as Kobe Bryant as a slot receiver. There's just so many good players in that secondary, and I think there's no reason to believe he won't win Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow, picking a top 5 pick in the draft. Very ambitious and very boring. And I'm not a boring guy, so I'm going to pick the number 26 pick in the draft, Brian Brzee out of Clemson, New Orleans Saint. You know, he dealt with some injuries last year, but when he's healthy, he's a dog. He's got that dog in him. You know, he's an amazing pass rusher. You know, he's given offensive linemen nightmares. He's a big guy. You know, one of the best in the country. I feel like he's going to get a lot of sacks this year. You know. He's playing in the NFC South. They got a lot of slow quarterbacks, so easier to sack, I guess. You know, I think Brian Brzee's your Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I don't know. That's a pretty ambitious take. I don't know about that. I don't know if he's even going to start.
He's going to start.
No, I don't
Trust
think so. The Saints don't like people from Clemson.
The Saints are weird then.
All right, well, that is all the time we have for today, but thank you all for tuning in to ESPN on SBC. I'm Dylan Paul with Jake Krause and Will Christie, signing off.